And now shifting focus to Sri Lanka. Massive protests have emerged in Sri Lanka against the ruling government over the poor handling of the economic crisis. A public emergency has been declared in the country and curfew has been imposed after countrywide protests over food, fuel, power shortages. The government has also imposed a social media blackout in order to curb all the anti-government protests. And I'm being joined by my colleague Priyank live from the capital, Colombo. Priyank, give us a sense of the ground sentiment right now. What is the sentiment? We know that right now there is a lot of anger against the ruling Rajapaksa government. But what does the situation look like right now on streets?
The government of Sri Lanka has certainly imposed curfew till Monday early morning, and the main issue of the power cut has also been somehow been tried to be under control by them. The Ministry of Power has given an order that the power cut should not be exceeded for more than 5 years, 5 hours, and this will be around 5 to 6 hours. We are standing at the main location of Colombo. As you can see, there are only a few vehicles which are on the move, and the deployment of army personnel as well as the state police has been done by the government to ensure that the law and order situation should be brought under control. This is the same location which is very few meters away from the main central bank, which has sort of seen a series of protests. A massive protest was also called by the people. The basic factor for which the Sri Lankans have been protesting is that they have been alleging that the family tree of the Rajapaksa has suddenly taken control of the country, as well as what is happening on the ground is that they are trying to dominate them. There's a feeling which is coming out from those residents that the government is certainly treating them as slaves, and there's nothing which is being done by them. The price rise is certainly a major concern, since we know that Sri Lankans have been borrowing a huge amount of money from the Chinese country, and since the Indian counterpart have most of them in quite a sufficient number of dollars in crores, they are trying to move certainly in the right direction. But fact of the matter is that the residents are certainly not happy with the government, the manner in which they have been pushed to the corner, the manner in which the price rise has happened, the manner in which they have to pay for more than 340 rupees for the Indian Oil Corporation's fuel, which is being sent to the country. The Indian government has also showed that a major chunk of the fuel resources will also be given. To this Sabin station here, they are also stuck because this road, which is actually having in the normal day, has a very good number of visitors. The foreign visitors only has presence of few police persons who are checking the movement of all those individuals who are here in this country.
All right. So, yeah, we're getting to know that there's a very strong deployment of security forces on the streets of the capital, Colombo, in order to curb the protests that are taking place against the government. Priyanka, I also want to ask you that how can this be an opportunity for India to step in to provide aid to the country which is battling its worst economic crisis in decades? And how could this be an opportunity, rather a venue for India to deepen its ties with Sri Lanka?
See, there seems to be some audio issue, but what I can tell you that the Indian government has assured that all those possible help which can be given to the people of Sri Lanka, having a very strong tie-up with this country and the people of Sri Lanka. The Indian government has also assured, money which will be lended to these people, and apart from that, there will be more than 2,000 crore of sum which will be given by the Indian government for the development of a particular corridor which is supposed to be built up here. But over the period of time, since 5, 6 years, there's a massive investment which has been done by the Chinese counterparts who prefer to invest here. And when the Sri Lankan government went into debt, they refused to give any kind of further sanction to the Sri Lankan government. And that has built up a huge amount of money which is supposed to be given by the people of the country. So at this moment, the Chinese are also not looking so much that they will be giving some more amount of money so that the Sri Lankans can come to a normal situation. The government is also thinking about a waiving of from the IMF, which can be spoken in the few days from now. But that particular time period till the time the situation can be normalized, the people of this country are facing huge problems. There are series of long queues which is being observed at the queue station. when grocery shops are open, people are having a long queue, and that too a chaotic situation is happening. So on the ground, when the food, fuel, and all those important things which are important for survival has been missing, there was certainly an issue which could have been raised by the people through protest. But since the protesters went totally out of control, the government has also imposed curfew. As we have just seen in my backdrop, there are army personnel and the state police to keep the security tight on the street so that no further movement which happened a few days back here in Colombo should happen.
All right. One last question, Priyank. Just to throw some spotlight on the Sri Lankan politics, what could be the road ahead for the Rajapaksa government? We know that there's a strong sentiment against the government for this massive crisis that is right now unfolding in the neighbor country. But what could be the road ahead for the Rajapaksa government? Will he be forced to step down?
See, Rajpaksha and his family members has a very huge dominance in the country, as we all know. The family had been in power since long time period. Before when the Rajpaksha lost the election in 2015, and in 2019, once again his brother came into power. There were several people of the Rajpaksha family who have been sitting on the high position, and that is also making a very strong allegation against them. What the people are saying that this family has been talking about in nepotism. This family is thinking about how they will work for their own development, not for the development of the people. But one more policy which was taken by the government of taking back fertilizers and bringing the organic farming has also built up this situation where the price of food material has gone in an exorbitant rate. Price of 1 kg of rice, which is a prime food substance for these people, has gone up to 200 rupees. If you talk about the Indian currency compared to Sri Lankan currency, it's approximately 0.36 rupees. So you can imagine that if something here is of 200 rupees, it would be of 600 rupees in India. So that kind of situation has certainly pushed these people to come out and protest. But the government has also raised their voice. They have said that they are a particular set of people who have come up with political ideology. They are not the actual residents of the country. They have been trying to pressurize the government. But in the meanwhile, since the protesters went totally out of control, there's a curfew which has been imposed till Monday morning.
All right, one last and final question. Do we have any update on the stats or the number of Sri Lankan Tamils who've been rescued so far? We know that in the past, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin has appealed to the Prime Minister that we must step up aid for our Sri Lankan Tamil brothers and sisters. So were you able to speak to them, or do we have any update as to what's the number of Sri Lankan Tamils who've been able to cross the border?
See, every person who has been staying here, whether these are the ethnic Sri Lankans or all those Tamil people who shifted here many decades back, the problem pertains same for them. The Indian government has assured every kind of possible help which can be given for the people of the country. But partly the Tamil settlement has always been there. The people want that India should come out very progressively and help, and that has also been shown by the government.